and welcome to another interactive, fun-filled edition of the Springboard Hangout. The Springboard Hangout, as you know, is our educative and very fun-filled program that we have with various stakeholders in our country and sometimes beyond. Today, all too soon, we are bringing to an end our 360 Women series that we dubbed Women on the Go. We put this together in collaboration with the Executive Women's Network, EWN, as they celebrated their 5th anniversary. You know, we were privileged to have influencers like Cynthia Oforejumo, Yvonne Oklu, Rosy Ebe Arthur, Sika Goka, Abigail Welbeck, Nana Esilfwa Tamaklo, and Emma Wenani. Some of them were CEOs, some of them were CFOs, some of them were marketing professionals, some of them were HR leaders, and so on and so forth. It was a whole gamut. Today we are privileged for our final edition of the Women on the Go. But you know, it's not really going to be final because you people have asked that they should come back. So they will be coming back, but maybe not on the series as we did, but you know, we'll still hear and converse with them and hang out with them as usual. Today, our personality, our lady of the moment, is such a phenomenal woman. She is one that you must meet not just in person, but also on the go. I'm talking about no other person but Rosy Fynn, the CEO of Busy Internet, is here with us. And therefore, tell us what you would like to learn from her about leadership, because she has led across the whole management divide, and right now she is leading from the very top. So send us your questions. Let us know what you'd like to ask her. Importantly, can you let us know where you are calling us from, because we want to hear from you. And though it is still a little early, tomorrow is my birthday. Okay, so we'll chill there. Okay, so yes. So let's hear from you. Where are you? She wasn't shaking her head here. Where are you listening to us from, or where are you watching us from? We'd love to hear from you. Call a friend for the person to join in. Please don't go away. We're going for a short break. When we return, we have Rosy all to ourselves. Welcome back to the Springboard Hangout. The Springboard Hangout today, we are on the series Women on the Go, and we are privileged to have in the studios Ms. Rosy Fynn. Rosy is a beautiful lady who is the CEO of Busy Internet. Most importantly, of Busy, sorry. Most importantly, she won the Outstanding Telecom CEO of the Year this year. It's not, you know, there's not those that the award was like 10, 15 years ago. It was this year. She hot and delivered hot to us. And she's also been voted as one of West Africa's top marketing and communications and professionals in Marketing World Awards. She's worked with Airtel, she's worked with Surfline, she's worked with Millicom, she's worked with JP Morgan, she's worked with Goldman Sachs, she's gone to Harvard. The person is very, very well versed, and if she was wine, I'll say she's very matured in what she does. So Rosy today is going to give us all the leadership tricks and skills that she needs to download here before she leaves. So let's go right into it. Rosy, welcome to Springboard Hangout.
Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here. I've been looking forward to this for weeks. So
I know.
I'm glad we're finally doing this.
I'm glad. I like the way we are. You are in the black and gold, and I'm in the white.
The white. It's as if we coordinated.
I tell you. And by the way, Rosy's birthday is also next week, so.
So happy birthday in advance.
Thank you, and happy birthday as well.
Thank you.
So therefore, Rosy, tell us a bit about yourself. Tell us about your journey in the corporate world.
Sure. So, as you mentioned, my name is Rosy Fynn. I'm currently the CEO of Busy Internet. I've been in this role for 2 years. So I joined Busy in 2019.
Wow.
I've been in the telecoms industry, though, since about 2009. That's when I moved back to Ghana. I was living in the US before then.
Okay.
But in 2009, I joined Tigo, which was Millicom then.
Yeah.
And started out, in business intelligence, in the marketing team. It was actually my first role in marketing. So I'd studied marketing in business school, but I'd never worked in marketing. So it was a very exciting journey, doing something that, I'd studied, that I was really interested in, and getting to apply all of that school knowledge into the work environment.
Yeah.
And it went really well. I ended up going to become the chief marketing officer at Tigo, and eventually managing all of the brands for West Africa for Tigo. So that was a really exciting journey for me, and my very strong introduction into the telecoms industry. And it's working in Ghana. It was my first opportunity in Ghana. Then I made the decision to move to Surfline. So after 4 years at Tigo, I was looking for a bit of a different experience. And what Surfline gave me was the opportunity to start a telecoms business from scratch.
Okay.
So this was, myself and Isabel dos Santos. 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. At the Africacom in South Africa. So,
Okay.
yeah. Networking is very important. So this is how I get to meet some interesting people.
Definitely.
Yes. So at Surfline, we basically built what was West Africa's largest single deployment for a 4G LTE company. And that was a really good experience. After Tigo, there were some things you take for granted, right? Because it was a well-established company. If you wanted to order SIM cards, it was a very simple way of doing it. But at Surfline, you were learning everything from scratch. You had to go and find a vendor. You were creating everything. So for me, it was a really good way to understand the nitty-gritties, right? So I did that for a couple of years. And then a mentor of mine called me and said, look, are you interested in a bit of a career shift? And I said, sure. And, this was Lucy Quist. And she was like, let's, do some really interesting work at Airtel. And I decided to join Airtel and actually work in customer experience. So this was after doing marketing for about 6-7 years.
Okay.
And one of the things I'm always looking for in my career is how I can expand my knowledge, how I can get new skill sets. And so moving into customer experience, I thought would be a way to build up, the knowledge that I was getting in the commercial field.
Yeah.
So I decided to, take a chance at it. I moved to Airtel and worked in customer experience for a couple of months. But surprisingly, as the stars would always align, an opportunity came for the marketing director role there as well. And that got added as part of my portfolio. So from being in customer experience, I ended up doing marketing in addition.
Yeah.
So went back to sort of my familiar space. I spent a couple of years at Airtel, and then actually got an opportunity to now work in the fintech space.
Okay.
One of the things that sort of characterizes my journey quite a bit is looking for opportunities to really, again, get my hands dirty and look for new learnings, right? So I joined a company called Bima that was focused on insurance, and ended up, learning quite a bit about the insurance industry as well, but from a fintech perspective, which was one of the areas
in
that
GH
really,
or
yes, in GH.
Okay.
And then after Bima, the opportunity for Busy came up, and it was a really exciting one for me because this was my time to do a pure turnaround. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'd done a startup in Surfline. I'd done, a multinational. I'd done some sales, some marketing. I'd done some mobile money, but I'd never done a turnaround experience, where a company is going through pretty hard times and you have to figure out how to get it back on its feet. And that's what the exciting thing for me was at Busy. So I've been there for 2 years now, and luckily, we've made some really good inroads in our journey in terms of getting the company back on track and beginning to get our revenues looking the way we want to, our products looking the way we want to. We're still far from where we want to be, but it's been, I think, a pretty good 2 years. And I think, the only place we can go is up. So that sort of, characterizes the career I have had to date.
Wow. Wow. So you have the opportunity of first leading in the marketing world.
Yes.
Then you turned the tables, not really, but kind of shifted your position on the table and looked at it from the customer experience. And then from there, you decided that, not that you decided, that the opportunity, when the opportunity came, you said, okay, so now that I've seen it from the customer perspective, how do I design things to help the customer, to ensure that my brand helps the customer or achieves what my brand promises?
That's
and
right.
then from there, you decided, okay, so I've been leading from some part of the field.
Yes.
Now I'm going to be the whole coach to have a
Overall.
whole team, like the team that you have
Like the
over
team
there.
I had here.
And there she is.
I know.
It's a
I
rugby
played
team.
rugby. Yes, I played rugby in college and in business school. And I actually played semi-professionally in New York. Don't ask. Yes, I've done some interesting things. But
played rugby.
I managed to stay injury-free for most of it, which my father is very excited about.
Thank you, God.
Yes.
I would also thank God for that you never got
He
any
was
injury.
quite worried for most of my games. but-
because rugby is even worse than American football.
They say that because you don't wear helmets,
Yes,
etc.
yes.
But we are very, very careful about how we tackle.
Oh, actually, guys, please see the lady. She also rides bikes
Okay,
as well.
so that's a little bit more dangerous than even playing rugby. So when I left rugby and I started riding bikes, he wished I would go back to rugby. He was like, you know what, maybe rugby was a better place to be.
So, are you telling me that if some Harley Davidson guys come around, you would actually go on the bike with them? And
I ride with them. In fact, I rode with the Harley Davidson group a few weeks ago. Yeah. We rode to Cape Coast and back. Yeah. I actually belong to a riding club called the Biker Girls GH.
Can you imagine how my hand is
They're stuck in the riding
on the bike.
Yeah. Yeah. So we actually ride for charity. We raise money to do a lot of non-profit work. So we contributed to Akuse prisons earlier this year. So we actually ride for a good cause. So that's a positive side of it.
Guys, ladies, the person we are talking to is not just in the corporate room. She also runs marathons. Can you imagine? That's 30 miles, right?
That's 30. That's what I'm training for. So I've managed to do a number of half marathons.
Okay.
The full one, I'm still looking for the inspiration.
Please translate it into kilometers for us in GH.
So that's about 42
kilometers, and you're running
non-stop. So my half marathon takes me about a little over 2 hours. So
seriously?
If you're doing a full marathon, you're running for 4 hours non-stop. So I haven't gotten the courage yet.
No.
I'm working on it.
Are you telling me that you do 26 kilometers running?
Yeah.
No. That's
It's about 21 kilometers
21
for the
kilometers.
half. Yeah, running. Yes. It will take you about two and a half hours.
Let me take a sip from my coffee because I just do my walk, and that's more than enough for me.
You should start. You should think about it.
No. Running is not for me. I will clap for you.
Give me some support, moral support. That's all I get.
That's all. I mean, I'll walk beside you, and cheer you on, and that's all that you'll be getting from me. That's basically it. And she's drummed before.
That's Sonny Bedu.
Sonny Bedu is a gentleman in the shorts,
In
the yellow
shorts. Yes.
Oh, okay. So you're still by
from
by
my
him.
Alcid Academy days.
Oh, okay.
Primary school days. So his musical talents have been coming up for a very, very, very long time.
Wow.
Very long time.
Wow. Excellent. So let's now say, so one of the things that we have heard about you is the fact that you are now leading, and then your opportunity to lead in this particular establishment came from a desire to change, right?
Yes, that's right.
So who or what is change leadership, or who is a change leader?
I think a change leader is somebody who comes in and is able to clearly understand the issues, but also the things that are working, and articulate a vision to take the company from where it is to the next level, right? So, change leaders come in many forms, and are leaders who can be different types of leaders. So if I take myself, I'm what I would say is more of like a democratic leader, right? So I like to lead in consensus. So if I'm in an area like I am a busy where we are looking for a lot of change, I still will use sort of my democratic leadership to effect that change, to make sure that I'm communicating the vision I have for the company, to make sure that I'm bringing along the team, to make sure that, the journey along which we want to go and the end goal for where we're going is very, very clear. And everybody understands and everybody sort of centers around that vision. There are change leaders who could be more autocratic and come in and say, look, I am going to tell you what I want to be done and I'm going to tell you what needs to happen. And they can be successful as well. So the point is, no matter who a change leader is, I think being true to who your sort of like authentic leadership style is the best chance you have of achieving your goals and being able to actually effect the change that you want to. So if me as a democratic leader, I try to become another type of leader because I think that's what will work in a particular situation, because it's not my true authentic leadership style, I probably will struggle and have a difficult time even convincing people, right, to follow me and to believe in the story I'm telling or the journey that I want us to go along. So I think it comes down to still being an authentic leader, but being very, very clear around, the goals you're setting, where you're trying to go, the vision you have for the company, and how you plan on taking everybody in the organization along.
Do you find that having been in a marketing role for a long time and being at this new position, do you find your marketing background helping you in articulating and selling, not selling, but projecting where you want to go as a group, as an organization, easier for your team members?
I definitely think so. I think one of the things that, having a sort of an underlying study in marketing helped me with was effective communication. Right?
Okay.
And effective communication for me is not just in being able to speak well and sell a vision, but also being able to listen and understand what's working, listen and understand people's views, where they're coming from, what they think needs to happen as well. And I don't think, especially when it comes to change leadership, you want to just be the kind of person who is always telling people what to do. Listening is, I think, even more important, because you have to understand the underlying reason why the organization or the company you're trying to change is in the situation that it's in. And if you don't, you might end up making the same mistakes that they've made in the past. So I think my strength in communication, which comes from, really having a good underlying study in marketing, was very, very, key and crucial to me being able to really understand what was going on based on the listening I was able to do, but also to be able to define the vision, but also, articulate it in a way that will get the team excited.
Okay.
There's marketing in that as well.
Yeah.
You can have a great vision, but if you're not able to communicate it in a way that excites the team and makes them want to buy into that vision, then the chances of them really following and being, really into it and wanting to see that vision come to life is probably limited. So marketing definitely played a role in crafting a strong enough, exciting vision that we are all following through today.
And they because that in changing leadership, one of the things that I understand is the fact that sometimes when nobody's comfortable with change.
Yes.
And of course you have those who would like to resist that.
Absolutely.
So badly. No, and it's sometimes amazing knowing where you want to go, what you want to accomplish, and yet you don't have the buy-in. How were you able to get that buy-in, and how? So two questions: how did you get that buy-in? I presume, and then also how were you able to overcome those who were resisting the change?
Yes.
If somebody has a company or somebody is in such a situation, how does that person help him or herself?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I think what definitely helped me was that I didn't come up with a vision by myself.
Okay.
Right? I didn't define where I wanted us to
go.
go
Okay.
from, and I came into the company as an outsider. So every single person in my leadership team had been there.
So you were from outside.
Yeah,
and
I'm from somewhere and I've come.
Then
right?
you were trying to tell us things to do.
So if you come in and you come
like that too.
guns blazing and you are like, I know what is wrong and I know what is good for you and this is what we are going to do, they will say okay. And they will watch you walk into the fire and never come out, right? And they'll say we told you so at the end.
We told you.
Yeah, we told you, exactly.
Yeah.
Because you can imagine that the fact that they're in that situation, they've been there, they've tried a lot of things, things that haven't worked. They've also probably resigned themselves to, okay, this is not, we're here, we've been here for 2-3 years, nothing is working, nothing is going to change, we are tired, etc. Right?
Yeah.
So for me, the initial step wasn't to come in and say, this is what we're going to do. There was a lot of understanding that I did. There was lots of conversations around, okay, let's untangle the pieces and understand how we got here. And then my first couple of meetings were about that. Why do you think we are in the situation that, right? And I kept saying we, right? I didn't take it from a perspective of, why did you think you guys got us here? Because I took myself as part of the team. We're in this together. Today, this is where we are. I wasn't here, yes, but let's figure out together why we got here. And once we did that, what were some of the suggestions you had for us to, make changes to move us forward? Because the truth is, some of them weren't in very senior positions when some of the issues were happening, right? They probably had great ideas, they weren't being listened to, etc. So it was really understanding all the things that they thought should have been done, and then understanding why they weren't done. Because some of the things you hear and you're like, okay, it might be a good idea, but it's going to cost you this much, and it's not realistic for the world we're in today, right? So it was really doing a lot of that underlying work, and unraveling it and going into that pretty painful past to see how things, got so bad so quickly, right? And after we did that, then we figured out, okay, what are the low-hanging fruits? Because you have a team that's quite demoralized. They've been in this situation for quite a while. What are the low-hanging fruits for success that they can pick on, work on, and come out successful to ginger them up? And then you celebrate. Once you get those quick wins, people get excited. They feel like, okay, you know what? Change can actually happen. These things can actually work if we put in the effort, if we do the things we're supposed to do. So we started with that. We got a few quick wins. We got some excitement. I mean, some of the quick wins were, for example, our Ocran mall shop had been shut down for about 7-8 months.
Wow.
We weren't selling out of there again. So I was figuring out how we could get that shop up and running, get some revenues coming out of there, get people excited. We weren't selling any devices when I joined. Okay, how quickly can we get to start selling devices in our outlets, bringing on board new customers? And as soon as they started to see these very few things happening, it gingered them up a little bit. And then they started coming up with ideas. So then we, after a few quick wins, we were like, okay, now let's do a full workshop and figure out a more longer term strategy, right? In terms of how we're going to really craft a vision and we went through, changing our values in terms of what the organization stood for, changing our mission, changing our vision. And they all felt like they were part of it because we didn't do it even as just management. We involved all of the organization. All team members were involved. And I think in a company that was at that stage and with those types of issues, it was really important to get everyone on board. Yeah.
And so with that, they felt like they were invested in the solution.
Because they came up with it, right?
Yeah, they were invested in the solution.
You can't say it won't work when you said we should do it.
So you get the idea.
Exactly. Let's figure out how we can make it work. And if we have to adjust a little bit, that's fine. Nothing is finite. But at least now we have a good plan for where we want to go and what we want to achieve.
Okay. So then when COVID hit.
Yes.
For an organization that was now finding itself or rediscovering itself, COVID would have been a really, really interesting setback. I'm saying interesting.
Yes. I like the choice of words.
Interesting setback. How did it affect the progress of the team? And so how did you respond?
Yeah, I think one of the things that helped us was a big part of who we want to be is more of a digital company, right? We're focused on digitalization. We're selling digital tools, right?
Yeah.
So we live it, we breathe it every day.
Yeah.
And so we've been already starting to work from sort of like a remote basis using the digital tools quite a bit because it was actually part of our strategy going into the future.
Fantastic.
So we kind of accelerated that a bit more. And the good thing is also, unlike maybe some of the other telcos, we are not that big of an organization, right? So even though we're working remotely, what we'd have is teams coming into the office on alternate days. And we still do that today. We don't let everybody come in and have masses of people because, the COVID threat is still real. But we found ways of still maintaining that level of camaraderie.
Okay.
We were very, very clear about, at least people in teams checking out on each other. These were things that we asked team members to do.
Yeah.
Because for us, it really was about the togetherness of the organization.
Yeah.
Because we were in the kind of situation we were, it was more about getting the team to gel. Yes, getting them all sort of, circled around a common goal. So being in different places definitely had an impact on that. But I think, still continuing to do a lot of our meetings through remote channels. We used a lot of Zoom. We did a lot of online interactions. That definitely helped with the spirit and the camaraderie. So we haven't suffered too much from that perspective.
And yeah, but you've been able to expand as well, despite the COVID, of course, because now it's more digital.
It's more digital.
So there's more demand for your services.
That's right.
Okay, so
it's good for some people, it's bad for others.
I know, right? So then, just one quick question: what's having led from different organizations, whether in a department or in a whole group or in a whole organization?
Yeah.
What is one thing you learned the hard way?
One thing I learned the hard way. I think one thing I learned the hard way is that, especially as you become more of a leader of a bigger organization, and the higher you go, you are less likely to hear the truth. You are less likely to be told things as they are. People want to kind of, you have to go levels below before you hear the situation.
What is on the ground?
What is on the ground, right? So that's why, for me, I mean, if you look at my phone, some of the team members whose numbers I have, who I talk to on a regular basis, are not necessarily my direct reports. Some of the people, I will go to the shop on a regular Wednesday afternoon and go stand with a lady and sell. I've done that a few times just to hear what customers are saying directly, see what types of issues they have, understand from the retail lady the issues she's facing on a daily basis. And you realize that she has like some little problem that is helping, that is causing her grief, that's been outstanding for like a month. And it's something that could have been fixed really quickly. Right? So you don't necessarily hear all of the things you're supposed to if you are at the top.
Yeah.
And so I think as a leader, it's important to also have a pulse on what's going on the ground and making a concerted effort to actually get that information. And it doesn't mean you're bypassing your direct reports or you're stepping on toes, but you're just being more aware. You're opening your eyes and you're not, just leading from the office. You're going onto the streets.
Or on your glass top penthouse.
Exactly. You have, especially here in Ghana, especially in a turnaround situation. That you have to wear some canvas and be on the ground, and see what's going on. It's very important.
Yeah. Wow. We now would go for a quick break. We are going for our game changer break, and today Jojo Ocran will give us something perspective that when you see, you'll be like, wow, that sounds very familiar. Don't go anywhere. Call someone, by the way, to come and listen in.
The fireworks flashed, the champagne fizzed, and the players shed tears of joy. Chelsea were champions of Europe. But just 4 months ago, Chelsea's former coach Frank Lampard said the team was not ready to compete for trophies. So what changed? Today, our game changer is inspiring belief. It's no exaggeration to say that Thomas Tuchel saved Chelsea's season. The German coach took over after Lampard's exit and turned the team around. People often credit this transformation to his odd tactics like using mini football and banana-shaped pitches. But his man management is the real secret. Lampard made players feel like they weren't good enough, and it showed in their results. Tuchel disagreed. He defiantly insisted that his players were ready to win trophies now, not in 3 to 5 years. He took a chance on underperforming players who repaid his faith. And there's no better example of this than N'Golo Kante. The French midfielder had struggled with injuries, which affected his output. His interceptions had dropped by 28%, while his tackling plummeted 42% from its peak. Things got so bad that Kante was almost sold in January. But when Tuchel came in, he declared that he had always wanted to work with Kante. He boosted Kante's self-belief and shifted him back to his favorite number 6 role. The response was resounding. Kante worked hard to regain his form and crowned the season with man-of-the-match performances in Chelsea's 3 biggest games. It's natural to want to replace people who are underperforming, but sometimes all they need is someone to say, "I believe in you." So who are you going to believe in this week? This has been The Game Changer with Jojo Ocran. Have a phenomenal week.
Welcome back. And that was Jojo Ocran with having a phenomenal week and believing in others, or inspiring belief. And I unfortunately had a Chelsea supporter in the studio, and so she was going like this, yay! So to all Chelsea supporters who are watching us today, God bless you. This blessing, God bless you.
It might not last forever.
God bless you. That's what I have to say. So, Rosy, before I come to you, I have Helen Matrivi. We haven't talked to our people. I'm so sorry. Selassie Nupe. Oh, thank you for joining us. Helen Matrivi, you're watching us from Accra. And Kwesi Chere is saying blessings. Thank you so much. And then Abigail is saying happy birthday. Oh, thank you, Abigail. I'm receiving this.
For both of us.
Well, yes. Happy birthday in advance, Rosy. And then Promise Fiajigbe says, wow, great and amazing leader. I salute you. And I drive Watson. Thank you for watching. And of course, I have Selassie Nupe who is saying that excited to learn from Rosy. I would love to hear. Okay, he has a question for you. So you first comment on the game changer, then you
go to this question.
You go to Selassie's question. It says that I'm excited to hear from you. He would love to hear how you successfully combine family life, fitness, and sports, motorbiking, outing, and partying, and you are still successful as a CEO. It means that you do all. So how you do all? That's what Selassie is asking. But what about Jojo's game changer?
I think he chose this game changer because I like sports. I mean, the sports analogy. It's perfect, and it's actually very apt, and it speaks to some of the. It resonates so well because some of the things I talked about in terms of my current experience with Busy. You know, you take Tuchel coming in and saying he believes in the team. So for me, for example, at Busy, the team that I met with is basically the same team that I have today. And a lot of the time when leaders come into organizations, they want to bring people that they are familiar with or people that they know. A lot of the people in that team I knew of. Some of them I'd actually worked in other organizations with. So I knew it wasn't about the talent. Okay. That was not the problem. Okay. Right? And in conversations, one of the key things I wanted to find out very quickly was if they had that passion and that fire to continue to push and were still inspirable towards change. Right? Yeah. Some people, if they've reached that level where, nothing can motivate them anymore, then that's a different story. But these guys still had the fire. They were just looking for the opportunity to show that they could do the work. And I think it's very similar to what Jojo is talking about. So it's about, being able to then inspire them, letting them know that you believe in them and you want to go on this journey with them. And I think that's one of the things that I made very clear was, look, you guys are the ones that I believe can help us turn this story around. And I am willing to work with you if you're willing to take the step with me, right? And I think, that helped get their buy-in and get us to the point where we are today. So fantastic. Good job, Jojo, on getting on getting that very, relevant game changer. Yeah.
Okay, so then my question to you.
Selassie's question.
Selassie, how you do all like that?
I think I have found a way to hone the skill of multitasking. That's one. I'm able to juggle quite a few balls, but also I've learned when to ask for help. Okay. I have realized that, sometimes women, we want to be superheroes and we want to do it all by ourselves. And that burns us out and we get stressed and then we make parts of our life suffer. But I am okay to sometimes admit that
This
I
one,
need
you over
help.
me.
You over me. And I need to take a step back. I need some alone time. Or I need to, get my mom to step in and maybe help with the kids. And I have a very good nanny. I've been very lucky with, help that, helps me raise
Those
my
people
kids.
are gold.
When you find a good one, you keep her.
I tell you,
And my nanny's been with me for 7 years. Has basically helped me raise my kids. And I think it's important to know when you're getting to that level where you're completely getting burnt out and you need some support, be it from family, from friends, sometimes from work colleagues.
Yes.
They're able to step up and hold the fort whilst you do what you need to do to take care of yourself. And I think we also need to have that self-awareness to know when things are not going, how we want them to, and, to take that needed time. Sometimes we wait till we are completely burnt out before we realize that, look, a change is needed. No, you need to have a pulse on yourself. So I meditate on a regular basis, and I think that sort of helps also keep me in tune and in check, and know when the stress levels are getting out of whack. Then I can sort of, find a way to regroup. And all of the sports also, running, etc. I mean, sports in itself is a stress reliever, right?
True.
So that definitely helps as well.
I definitely think that the sports plays a very significant role.
Absolutely.
Because when you wake up or when you're going home and you are tired and exhausted and you say, okay, so let me just do an hour workout.
Exactly.
By the time you finish,
the hormones that are helping you,
they are pumping.
Yeah.
They are pumping.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so then, so I just want to know something. One of the things that is supposed to have been responsible for COVID was 5G.
That was as far from the truth as possible. It's a myth.
It's a myth.
Let's not go into that one even. No.
We shouldn't
It is not the case.
It is not the case.
At all. Yes.
And after having scared us with 5, they are not talking about it's even 6.
6G, yeah. But 5G is only now from a technology perspective, so completely unrelated to COVID. I mean, it's still making its ways into onto the continent, right? So South Africa has launched a few. Kenya is testing some. Togo actually has started looking at 5G.
No. Togo.
Yeah, just right around the corner.
No. They can't go before us.
They are actually making inroads. They're the first country in West Africa to start the rollout and thinking about 5G. So. But I mean that's how it is with technology.
So where are we? I just want to. Where are we?
In Ghana here. We are still rolling out the 4G. We'll get to 5G.
When?
Well, you also need the critical mass of the devices, right? So you need enough people who have 5G devices, which a lot of people don't, right? For it to make sense to have those sites up, or else they won't be able to use the technology.
Okay.
So in Ghana, I mean, one of the problems we have is low penetration rates in terms of smartphones. Digital penetration is increasing, but you definitely want more people to be able to have affordable smartphones. 5G devices are not going to be affordable. So the goal is to get people more affordable devices that can actually help them get online.
Okay.
I don't think it's really, for a large group of the people in Ghana, it's not really about getting them 5G devices right now. It's actually being able to get them devices in the first place.
Okay.
So I think you'll definitely see some rollout of 5Gs in the next,
Why wouldn't we get 6?
years.
Why don't we skip the...
that type of leapfrogging is very, very possible. It's very possible.
Do you see busy leading that way?
It's actually very possible that would be the way we would go. Because when you're a small entity and 100% focus is data, right? So the question is, how can you do data the best way possible, right? Yeah. And it's ensuring that you're able to give the best experience. And it's not even just about people being able to browse on their phones alone. It's about being able to have the smart connections in terms of entertainment, in terms of security, etc. So those are all things that we're looking at into the future.
Okay. Excellent, because I'd love to have some either 5 or 6 to play with. Because sometimes the 4 is
not fast enough.
It's not fast enough. It's not fast enough. And when sometimes when it even goes on strike, then it goes to 3, and you're like, what am I going to do with it? 3? Yeah. Okay. Right. So Rosy, As a leader, how does one remain relevant?
That's a very good question. And I think it comes down to, you see, so for me, I've always focused on my work speaking, for itself, right?
Yeah.
And I think I don't think about, how I can remain relevant. It's about how I can do great work that will speak for itself, and in that way continue to be relevant. So relevance is not the goal. It's more about the quality of the work and the impact that that's having. So one of the things that's really important to me right now is, how we can get more people online. Managing a company that's focused on digital, that's focused on getting internet into the hands of the people. Today we sit at around, 47, 48% internet penetration. So my goal is, okay, what can we do to make sure that more than half the population is not online? How can we get them online? What are the things we're doing to make that a possibility? So the projects we're currently doing with the Ministry of Education to get all senior high schools connected, which will mean that much younger people are going to start having access to the internet, learn how to use digital tools, hopefully learn how to program, get interested in ICT, get interested in careers in STEM, and then it just continues to evolve into people who are being removed from poverty, people who have more opportunities because they are now, getting skills that are more relevant into the future. That's where I'm thinking, right? And I think when you do those things that have positive impact on people, the relevance comes to play, right?
Yeah.
And so that's where I would center the energy and center the effort, which is let's have impact. Let's be able to do things that have positive economic impact, positive social impact. And once you're doing that, I think as a fallout of that, as a leader, the relevance and whatever accolades or attributes you're looking for will follow.
As a leader, remain relevant by ensuring that whatever you're doing has positive impact, be it social, economic, be it even where you have an impact in the very social lives of the people that you're leading. So that is relevant, ensuring that you are relevant in your sphere of influence. Fantastic, Rosy, that was really good. So Rosy, if we are looking at, one of the values that I pick up from you is the value of being diligent in what you deliver. You also look at how you can reach out to people, so empathy seems to be strong. What are some of other values that you, as a person,
I think
your true
self, right? I think you've nailed two of them on the head. Diligence and empathy is absolutely crucial. And if I think about it from the perspective of busy and when I came in and people hadn't been paid for a long time and those types of issues, as a leader, those were some of the things that I wanted to tackle first. How do people make sure they're taking care of their families and they're protecting themselves? It wasn't around from day one, how do we get revenues to double or triple when the people are hungry, right?
Yeah.
So empathy is definitely one that's very important for me as well. I've grown up in a world where, from my parents, from my mother, respect is something that is so key. And it doesn't matter who you're dealing with and at what level. So I walk into the office and from the person who's opening the door, from the cleaner who's cleaned my office, knowing how they're doing, how their families are doing. My cleaner sometimes has to bring her kid to work, when she's working. And the little boy, sometimes will walk into my office and I have one computer there that he'll come and watch cartoons on as his mom is working and as I'm working, just so that she can do her job and earn her salary. And I think, just having respect for people, no matter what walks of life they're from or what spheres they're coming from, is absolutely key. And I think, another one will be, I'm definitely a big believer in the value and power of hard work. I believe that if you put in the effort, if you persist and you persevere and you're focused on working hard, nothing is impossible. You can move mountains so long as you're willing to put in the hard work. And that's definitely been one of the things that I think has helped me in my career, not cutting corners and knowing that, look, just roll your hands up, get your sleeves up and get your hands dirty. And people will notice. there's still meritocracy in the world, right?
Yes.
Whereas
Yes.
you put in the efforts, the rewards, and the
Yes.
results
Yes.
will come. And I've seen that happen, time and time again. And as a leader, that's one of the things I look for. Salary increments and promotions are not given to those who ask. They're given to those who you see
Actually
grinding all the time. And one of the guys, it's funny, just a couple of weeks ago, even in our hard times, I increased the salary, and he was like, but I've never said anything to you. I've never come to complain, because people always come in and are like, well, salaries haven't been increased for a long time. And he was like, I appreciate it, but why? And I was like, because I see you, and I see the effort you're putting in, and I see the work, and I see the fact that you leave here late. You never complain. Yes, you don't come and ask, but you shouldn't have to come and ask before giving what you're due. It's really important. So, I think hard work in the long run, because I'm such a believer of it, I keep trying to manifest that as much as possible in my leadership style. So, yeah.
Wow. When you have a leader who is not a touchline leader being somebody who is just holding their whip and saying that, yes, do it, and not getting involved in it, is different. And the kind of leadership that we see Rosy exhibiting is the type that would make people follow no matter where no matter where you lead them, because she is not only in front of the team, but she is helping together, saying that, I think we can achieve this. So today, as we are coming to the end of the program, one thing I want you to ask yourself, if you are a leader, what kind of leader are you? And are you the type that people will follow no matter what? Because they see you leading authentically. Or are you the kind of leader that people will say, this person, when he says look down, you had better look up, because something is going to fall from the skies. Rosy, I've learned so much from you.
Oh, thank you.
And I really have. And I actually, at some point, especially when you talked about the cleaner bringing the baby to the office, I actually had tears in my eyes, because I could really feel your love and your connection with your team. Thank you.
They're a great group of people.
I know, and so I'll be coming. Please, I'll bring my CV so that
we'll make you the head of engineering. You'll have to climb the towers.
I wouldn't mind climbing the towers. I wouldn't mind climbing the towers. But it's just that knowing which frequency
to turn it on. You'll put it on 5G.
I'll put it
That's
on
all.
And let's get it out of the way quickly. Definitely. Okay, so then I know one of the things that you really are passionate about is about helping young ladies get into the field of STEM. About coaching. Is it because you've had you did mention a coach of yours, is it something that you have trained for, or something that, you learned that you continued in your leadership journey?
Yeah. No, I think it's something that I have personally benefited from. I have never learned, from by being a coach, or studied that, but I've definitely benefited from it, from, mentors I've had, from, just a number of people who have always looked out for me. And I think that's something that I'm trying to pay back on. So I think that's the most, relevant thing for me. And it's so important getting more people into the world of STEM.
Oh, wow!
To you.
Guys.
May God bless you now. May God bless you now. May God bless you now. Hip, 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 hip.
You people, you've actually disrupted our
It's a party now.
Okay.
We're done.
Let's stop it.
We're done. We're going to dance.
Guys, it wasn't Rosy has given her final words. We are done. So
We're going to cut cake
we're going to cut
and
cake and
dance.
eat. Oh,
Very, very nice to meet you.
I sent 2 questions. Somebody asked
Oh,
my phone.
exactly. We'll have a conversation
which
there.
one? Which was the question?
It's party time.
Okay, so Rosie, come and let's cut our cake together because yours is next week.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rosie, let's cut our birthday cake. Eh? So, are you there? Are you taking? Yes. 3, 2, 1. Woo! Okay, so we are cutting the cake. Hey, we are going to take a photo. What's the photo?
It's so important.
Oh, your body, shake your body. Rosie, you have to cut yourself.
I have to cut it, no problem. He came to get cake and depart.
It's still our cake. Woo.
Oh, this is a happy birthday song.
Yes, it's a happy
Wow.
birthday by J Nani. Some young lady that we enjoy here.
Oh, that's
Jeffany. She did a song called Yawa. She's only 17 years.
Wait, is she the one who played the guitar?
Yeah.
She is amazing.
She's just 17 years and she's doing so much.
I mean,
Yeah.
that was classic.
Yeah, that's her song.
Oh, really? Who's she signed to? Who's she signed to?
Please sign her for me, I beg you.
Oh.
She's my sweetheart.
Eh,
Yes.
let's talk to Links.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will do that then. We'll do that because honestly, I think she needs. Oh, thank you. Oh, please come and serve yourself. Oh. I'm the birthday girl. Please cut your cake. Matthew, cut your cake. Oh, pardon? Yeah, Matthew. Yes, on behalf
Of
family, home and abroad, office and outside office.
yes.
We would just like to wish you a happy birthday in advance. In fact, the party starts now.
Yes.
We'll go on to tomorrow and then even after tomorrow.
Yes.
I just want to thank you for the leadership. We're talking about leadership and I was see who is talking. Being a very good leader, not just a leader, being a mom, being a friend, being everything for us, the Springboard family. So just appreciation and then blessings for you and hoping that you would go on to do more for us in the days ahead, in the years ahead. Thank you very much and happy birthday.
Thank you, Rosie.
absolutely.
That's a happy birthday to us.
In fact,
Happy
you guys are
birthday.
awesome. Did you take the picture?
Good.
I actually really like this.
So we came to invade your program. We'll allow you to end your program very well. We'll still be waiting.
Wait, we haven't
The
ended.
party-
No, we haven't ended. We are
You
still alive.
cannot end the program.
Apparently, we are live. Yeah. All right, guys.
Are we? Are we eating cake now?
Yeah. Okay, so on behalf of Rosie and I, Rosie is celebrating her birthday on the 30th, and I'm celebrating mine on tomorrow.
25th.
Tomorrow, live and colored. Tell where's my
No, I'm the
birthday picture?
28th. I barely believed you
No,
that I
mine
was
is
the
25th.
I'm 28th.
28.
Yes,
Okay.
Monday.
So Monday is Rosie's birthday. Since Reverend has joined us again after eating our cake, before we ate our
Is
cake,
yours finished? It's good.
I've come to pray.
so we'll ask
Ima?
Reverend to pray for us.
Yes.
Yes, but before Reverend was that, Ima, can we have the birthday picture that we put together for comfort?
You put something together for me?
It's a very nice birthday.
Oh,
Oh, this is
It's
amazing.
called Heaven is Real.
this is amazing. I love it. I love it.
The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament shows his handiwork. Day unto day, outer speech, and night unto night reveals knowledge. And it's from Psalm 19, 1 and 2.
Sorry. Thank
Thank you so much, guys.
You're always welcome.
All right, so
Over to you, please.
How's the breakfast? So it has to be good.
all right, it's okay. Music again. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So before we pray, Rosy, thanks for the beautiful conversation. I loved your storytelling skills. Absolutely incredible. So
thank
my closing comments on behalf of comfort. My closing comments were that when you started telling your story, I was like, you've changed your quite a bit. Then I listened to why you made every career transition. By the time you finished, I was sold. So my lesson from listening to you tell a story in that way is that leadership communication, it requires context. Without context,
Yeah.
the communication is very wrong.
100% right.
Yeah.
I want to say a big thank you to you for that.
Absolutely.
And Comfort, thanks for being such a wonderful host and giving us such a wonderful show this evening.
Thank you.
So a happy birthday to you in advance tomorrow, Comfort. And
Thank
to
you.
you, Rosy, on Monday.
Thank you.
You're so blessed.
I know.
Let's pray together. Father, we thank you for two wonderful women providing an example for all of us about what can be and what should be done as leaders in our generation. I pray for Comfort and Rosy that you would continue to lead them and guide them to be 1,000 times more. That their example will inspire many young women to believe and to dare to dream and to go on to be. And that many young men will also look up to them and say, if they can do it, I can also do it. That together we'll build a better Ghana, a better Africa, and a better world. That generations after us will look at us and say, it all began with these examples. I pray for health. I pray for life. I pray for peace of mind. That the blessing in their lives will touch generations after them. In Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Amen.
Happy birthday. God bless you.
Thank you. So on behalf of the Springboard team, I say thank you so much for the cake you brought to us. And it's been a beautiful conversation with Rosy. And I believe that next week we'll be back. Next week we're starting a new series. That series looks at the entrepreneurship journey in Ghana. And we are bringing policyholders to let us know what they have for us. Additionally, don't forget to watch the second part of Konimo on Springboard, your virtual university, this coming Sunday. We'll repeat this program again on eTV, so we'll be expecting you there. Have a fantastic day, and God richly bless you all. Thank you.